Hello, good evening, and thank you so much for joining us tonight, especially in this weather. Um, and we want to thank you for coming to stand with Gaza and have the people of Gaza also hear your voices and know that they're not alone. We're trying to create a place where we can all grieve together the loss of life and humanity. We're going to try to convey the stories from Gaza and show the people of Gaza the voices of London. I'm going now to pass the mic to Victoria. We've asked her to share, as she's been to Gaza so many times in the past 25 years, so she has a lot to share and add on one note. Sorry, one thing. This mic is just for the camera, so you're still gonna have to listen to us without the mic.
So it's not actually working?
So it's not actually working.
Okay.
They need it for better sound.
I understand. Okay, I wasn't clear about my role with the mic. First of all, thank you all so much for coming. This is really wonderful. And a big thank you to Aisha and to the whole MEMO team. I think it's amazing how you got this together. And a big thank you to our friends at P21, who are always the most lovely, lovely hosts. Now, I'm sure that you're all like me. You've written and said the words, no words, so many times in this last 3 weeks. And as far as I'm concerned, that is what I really feel. So I'm going to use someone else's words, two people actually. The first one is one of Palestine's most iconic poets, Samir al-Qasim, who died in 2014. This is the poem. The General's Property, in brackets, to Ariel Sharon. A flower vase on the General's table, 5 roses in the vase. The General's tank has 5 mouths. Under the tank, a boy of 5, a rose. A boy and 5 stars adorn the General's shoulder. In his vase, 5 boys and a rose. Under his tank, 5 roses and 5 boys. The tank has countless mouths. And the second one is from Palestine's national poet, Mahmoud Darwish, and it's called We Travel Like Other People. We travel like other people, but we return to nowhere, as if traveling is the way of the clouds. We have buried our loved ones in the darkness of the clouds, between the roots of the trees. And we said to our wives, go on giving birth to people like us for hundreds of years, so we can complete this journey to the hour of a country, to a meter of the impossible. We travel in the carriages of the Psalms, sleep in the tents of the prophets, and come out of the speech of the gypsies. We measure speech and space with a hoopoe's beak, or sing to while away the distance and cleanse the light of the moon. Your path is long, so dream of 7 women to bear this long path on your shoulders. Shake for them palm trees so as to know their names and who'll be the mother of the boy of Galilee. We have a country of words. Speak, speak, so I can put my road on the stone of a stone. We have a country of words. Speak, speak, so we may know the end of this travel. Thank you very much. So we're now going to have the first 2 poems written for this occasion. The first one is Hidayah, and the second one will be Lina Al-Hashimi. I think you have to hold the mic, but you know it's a pretend.
Dear children of Gaza, the guns that point at your faces and are as loud as rockets, injuring you and haunting your sleep, will one day stop, and you will wake up to see the sun shining and warming your face. Dear mothers and fathers of Gaza, the thunderous sounds of bombs you hear at night make you and your children have a fright. But do not worry, the sounds will silence and the birds will soon hum by the trees outside your window. O skies of Gaza, the 100 bombs smoke your cloud. They are as grey as the million ashes that cover the ground. But you will clear, and the sun will shine through you again. O homes of Gaza, the bombs that break your bricks, it won't be long until Palestinians will come together and rebuild you as a home again. O blessed Gaza, the bullets that may be shooting at you, and you may be hearing all your beloved children scream and cry, but you will heal and you will grow until all your beloved are free and alive once again.
So this is a spoken word that I call Forgive Me. Bismillah. I want to fade in slowly. I want to paint the landscape of your land with rich rhymes. I want to tell of the dances, the dresses, the tea times. But they've sent the warning strike, so forgive me if I rush in or if I stumble over my words. Blood tends to clot in my throat. I apologize if I only told your stories when they were the horror ones. I apologize if I only heard your cries when they were screamed across the sea. For writing poems of your people only when their names were etched in graveyards, or at least should be. I know this isn't my doing, but an apology from the ones who make you ache aren't worth pursuing, so I'll take it. Forgive me. Forgive me for letting them color their flags with your bloodshed. Their pride of blue, white, red flags waved with pride over the graves of sons who've died innocent, who tried with all their might to defy genocide. You were given the right to exist with a big asterisk with conditions that only be when they let you exist, if they let you resist. That weekend, I remember thinking this night might be the last for them. Unspoken fear this year might be the end of them. Gaza, Gaza, don't you cry. We will never let you die. I think I was young when I first chanted that. Maybe 5, no younger than the ones who've died. I think I was young when I first chanted that. Maybe 5, no younger than the ones who've died. It slid smoothly on my tongue, light, almost fun, now is tangled in my identity, lurks in the shadows of hope, heavily an oath chanted in crowd, proud testimony written in blood, etched on the arms and palms of a children that accept they might be next. You see, they learnt to write their own eulogy before the alphabet. I regret that they know less tales of their toys than their tombstones. I regret that the finished lines of their races were shoved into the grave. I remember writing my mother's number on my arm as a child. I don't think I expected for only my arm to make it home. For Palestinian children, the first time they feel safe is in their demise. But do not worry for them, for by angels they rise, flying birds in the skies, scattered pearls across heaven's eyes. I do not mourn for them. I mourn for the doctor, who found her sister amongst the masses of dead. I mourn the mother who wept by the heads of her family of 3. I mourn the father who held up a bag and said, "This is my son." I mourn the girl, the one with braids freshly done, knitted by the fingers of her mum, now a body unrecognizable to all but her. To the men who meant for more, forgive us for letting your history be marked in bone. I know you prayed that your legacy reach more than rubble. I know you prayed for a better burial for them. I regret 1948, when your homes became offers on the table to bargain with. I regret 1917, when your veins were the ink he signed away his blame with. This is not an October horror. This is a 75-year horror, a whole lifelong horror. Something spiraled in the rings of old olive trees, embedded in the soil of worn vine leaves. I wonder how the trees there still grow upright. I wonder how the trees there still grow upright. Somehow their posture is solid, like their people. They hold bodies, but God's praise is uttered on their tongues. It must be hard to grow a straight spine when deceased descend upon your shoulders. Yet their faith outranks mine, as if their heads are held high by the heavens themselves. Maybe their prostration was deepened by the bones on their back. Occupier, the only white flag you'll see of conformity, of surrender, is the white cloth that surrounds those who died with dignity, submitting only to the Lord of mercy. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. To Allah we belong, and to Him we shall return. Thank you.
Jonathan, I'm holding the mic for you.
Good evening, everybody. My name's Jonathan Chadwick. I'm from As Theatre. We've had a partnership with a company in Gaza called Theatre for Everybody since 2008-9. So we've done a whole series of actions and events in London, and we've produced with them in Gaza. The artistic directors, Hossam Madoun and Jamal Al-Razi, they're in Gaza at the moment. They've been displaced from their homes, but as I understand it at the moment, they're still alive. I had a message from Hossam this morning. What you're about to hear are accounts written by Hossam in the period from the 7th of October, and they're going to be read each by separate people from sitting in the front row here. And they're in chronological order, and they take you through a story. In fact, there's 12 of them, but we're going to actually be reading 7. I'm just going to pause a little bit. Laura, do you have the piece that you're going to read? No. I'm afraid I don't either have that piece. Yeah, that's a good idea. Because that's the one that should come. That'd be the first one, yeah. It won't take long, no. So just bear with us, because I made a slight error in the way that I organised the people. This will be no surprise to the people sitting over here. But anyway, I mean, these messages came in from 2 days after October the 7th, when the bombardment of Gaza started, and Hossam and Jamal, I talked to them on the phone, and I said to Hossam, write, just write. And that is what he's done. He's written these extraordinary accounts, and and it gives me a little bit of pleasure to present them to you, because, like those wonderful poems that you read, they give our feelings a little bit of form and shape, and that's very important for us to be able to share the experiences in that form. So Laura, would you like to come and take my place with this strange microphone, which doesn't actually amplify one's voice, but is, I don't know. Does filmmakers does everybody have to use this mic? Yes, please.
I'll hold the mic for Laura because she needs to use her phone, and then you. You sure? Yeah. I think I'm supposed to stand here anyway.
Oh, you are? Oh, I like that. Okay, thank you. Okay. Third day of the war, 2:22 a.m. Trying to sleep. Don't know how. Bombing all the time. Sounds of bombing mixed. Sounds of bombing far away. Sounds even further away. Sounds not far away but not nearby. Sounds nearby but no impact on the building. Sounds very nearby and the building is shaking. The windows want to move out, but something, I don't know what, is holding them in place. Maybe with the next bombing they won't hold in place and blow broken all at once, but so far, not yet. After 3 days with the same horrifying atmosphere, no sleep, my eyes are falling closed. Yet my head is shaking me to keep awake, never knowing what will happen, never knowing if the next bombing will get us or force us to evacuate like thousands who have already evacuated their homes. We've prepared an escape bag, but the scenario of evacuating is a nightmare. With my disabled 83-year-old mother in a wheelchair, my terrified dog, but of course, with my strong wife. But we haven't prepared yet where to evacuate, where to go. Choices are zero. Any movement toward any other family members in other cities is already a suicide attempt. Nearby, friends are already hosting many members of their family. Maybe staying inside the car would be an option. We really don't know. Yes, I started with trying to get to sleep. Okay, again, trying to sleep at 2:22 a.m. I think I succeeded. At 4:37 a.m., my wife, Abir, was calling my name. I heard my name as if it came from a far distance. Again, Abir is calling my name. What? I said, still keeping my eyes closed. There is knocking at the door. I open my eyes. I see nothing, complete darkness, no electricity, no standby generator, no slight light from the street. Dark. I said, there is no knocking. She said, listen. I listened. There was a soft knocking at the door. Took my mobile, opened the torch option and moved towards the front door. The soft knocking continued. Who is it? Saleh's mother, our neighbor from the 5th floor. Without opening the door, what's up, Saleh? It's Salma, your daughter in Lebanon. She was trying to reach you for hours, and when she could not, she called my niece in Jordan, who called me, asking to reach you. She is so panicked as you do not reply. Thanks, Saleh. Trying to call Salma. It is impossible. No internet, no mobile since 11 p.m. last night when the Israeli Air Force bombed the telecommunication company. Salma, our sole daughter, who is away from us for the first time in her life in Lebanon since a month ago for her master's degree. I get very frustrated. I must find a way to contact her, to call her. I know she will collapse if she doesn't hear from us. She has already thought about leaving her master's and coming back to be with us. Bombing continues while this is happening. The dog sticks to me out of fear. My mother wakes up asking to go to the restroom, and I am still trying to think what to do. Trying to call Salma by mobile. All calls failed. I went down to the basement of the building where at least 6 families from the upper stories of the building took refuge. I asked if there is any alternative way for internet or communication. They say, no, we all lost this privilege. The building guard said, if you go out of the building, you might get signal. Going out in this dark, in the street, while there's bombing every single second and no one knows where it is happening and what the targets are. It took me 0 time though. I moved out away from the building in the direction the guard told me to go, trying to call, failed. Moving further and trying again, failed. Moving and trying again. After at least 17 times, the mobile rang at the other end. Salma, yes, finally. She said nothing. She fell into deep crying. I understood. I could imagine what she went through during these hours without reaching us. I let her cry. I wanted very much to cry. I could not. I should not. What's up, Salma? We're okay. We're alive. You know, communication is interrupted. I really don't know what I said until she calmed down. Then she went to her university, and I went back to think through with a beer. If we had to evacuate, where to go? It is 9:45 a.m. I've finished writing this post.
Sixth day of the war, 2:22 a.m. What a coincidence. How come it's the same time as on day 3? At 2:22 a.m., Abir, my wife, is waking me up. I went to sleep at 1:45. What's up? Get up and come and see this. What? She shows me a message she received by mobile. The ICRC, International Committee of the Red Cross, sent their staff a message asking all of them to evacuate from the north of Gaza and Gaza City to the middle area of Gaza, as the Israeli army is planning to destroy the north. Every resident in the 2 northern municipalities must leave between daylight and 2 p.m. What? 2 municipalities out of the 5 municipalities to be completely destroyed. 1.1 million people to move out toward the middle and the south. The message came with a Gaza map showing areas to be evacuated. Due to the continuous bombing, many families in the building where we live are spending the night in the building's basement. The building is 7 floors and contains 32 apartments. I put on some clothes and went down to see if anybody else received such a message. In the basement, on a big carpet and a few mattresses, 8 men and 13 children are asleep. I woke up one of the neighbors. I start chatting with him about the message. The rest of the men woke up, some start calling. In a few minutes, the message is confirmed by several people. UN staff also received the same message. What to do? For more than 30 minutes, everyone is moving back to their flats, then coming back. Some more neighbors gather. A question hangs in the air with no answer. What did you decide? It is 5:30 in the morning, still dark, no daylight yet. I went back home to consult with Abir. She is working for an international humanitarian organization, Humanity and Inclusion. She's already received the same message from her NGO. Where to go? The second question hangs in the air without answer. What about my old mother who can't move? What about our dog? What about our home? What is going to happen to our home? We spent 25 years of our lives working like hell to save enough money to have our own home. From 2:22 a.m. until 6:30 a.m., we were unable to think straight. We don't trust the Israelis. They commit massacres. They already did, many, and we witnessed it. We can't risk staying here. Evacuation bags were already ready since the first day of the war on Gaza. We decide to move to the middle area, to Nusayrat camp, to get refuge at Abir's family. Abir's family is already hosting her sister's family, 2 girls, father and a mother. 6:45 a.m., while filling the car with extra stuff that we might need, Salma, my daughter, who is taking a master's degree in Lebanon, was calling. She received the news. She was panicked, weeping. We tried to calm her. No words could calm anyone in this situation. Finally, she understood that we are still alive and we are moving. Salma is taking her master's degree in human rights and democracy. She studies IHL and IHRL, majestic abbreviations for very deep meanings. IHRL, International Human Rights Law. IHL, International Humanitarian Law. Laws that can bring any criminals against humanity to accountability through the International Criminal Court. Yet these big words do not apply to everyone. They can apply to weak, small countries, but never to countries of the West. And for sure we will never, ever apply them to Israel, no matter what they do. The military occupation of other nations is already a crime against humanity, yet Israel occupying Palestine for decades has never been questioned. Israel committed more than 5 wars on Gaza, killing thousands of people, men, women, children, destroying houses, buildings, schools, hospitals, and yet Israel is never held accountable. Now and today, Israel is practicing a genocide and ethnic cleansing of 1.1 million people, dispossessing them of their safe homes to face the unknown. And yet the world is watching. Moreover, it is justifying what Israel is doing. More than 2,500 killed, including at least 800 children and 450 women, and injuring over 8,000 people, destroying thousands of civilian homes and buildings. Yet Israeli hands are free to get deeper in our blood. 55 years I lived on this earth and witnessed nothing but violence, prison, death, blood, bombing, airstrikes, blockade, restriction of movement, no hope, no safety. And why? Why all of this? Because accidentally, geographically, I was born in Gaza. What guilt! What an accusation! Born in Gaza from the first breath, labelled a terrorist by the Israelis, with a green light from the West to do whatever they want to us. 6:55 a.m, the mobile is ringing. The son of my friend, whose home was severely damaged 2 days ago due to the bombing of a nearby building. Answering the call. Yes, Yusuf, tell me. Yusuf. We must leave now for Khan Yunis. Since our home is damaged, we moved to the NGO where my father is working, and now I have too many people to move to Khan Yunis. Do you have a place in your car for 2 or 3 people? I know that a big part of Yusuf's family moved to his home from Gaza, a village east of Khan Yunis, which was heavily bombed in the first 2 days of the war. I could not give any other answer, but yes. Talk to Abir. We already filled half of the back seat with stuff to take with us, but we can't leave my friend's family without help. We start to reorganize our things by priority. We moved half of the stuff back to the house. 7:25 a.m, on the move towards my friend's home. My old mother in the front seat and Abir with our dog in the back seat, freeing up space to take another 2 persons. My friend's family was still packing. There are more than 25 persons in 2 big cars. They squeezed themselves into the cars. We took with us another old lady and a young man. Huge sound of bombing. Not far, but don't know where. Before we start moving, we had to discuss what road to take, which road would be safer. Gaza, 42 kilometers in length and 6 to 12 kilometers in width, is connected from the north to the south by only 2 main roads. The Sea Road, which is exposed to Israeli Navy shelling, and Salah ad-Din Road, which is also exposed to airstrikes and artillery shelling from the east. Not much time for big thinking, the chances of which is safer is 50-50. We start driving. The Sea Road, empty. Very few cars passing by, some driving reluctantly and some driving very fast. From time to time we see destroyed buildings on the roadside by the sea, rubble blocking the road, and we have to move around it from time to time. Looking at the sea, navy boats on the horizon. The old lady praying loudly. Abir is trying to chat with the old ladies to calm them down, while our dog is completely silent, as if he knows that there is something wrong. Sound of bombing. Our plan was to stop in the middle area, only a 14-kilometer drive, but we can't leave our friends. We continue with them to Khan Yunis, 32 kilometers. We arrived safe. They asked us to stay with them and not to drive back, as it could be very dangerous. It was an option, but there was not enough space. We asked around if we can rent a flat, but it was too late. Thousands of families arriving before us from east of Khan Yunis, and many other places have filled every single corner of Khan Yunis, including schools, sports clubs, wedding halls, restaurants, NGO premises. Every empty space was filled with new refugees. Another diaspora of Palestinians, another migration, another catastrophe. Sounds of bombing from many directions. My mother is weeping with pain. More than 1.5 hours in the car, her body can't tolerate it. We start our trip back to the middle area, Nusayrat camp, where my wife's family lives. Driving north, and now many more cars coming from the north to the south. Cars full of people and stuff. Almost every car has mattresses tied on top. Some mattresses and blankets were falling off and we could see them in the road from time to time. Sounds of bombing all the time. 9:42 a.m., arriving at Nusayrat. Everyone starts to empty the car. The food we brought from our fridge we had to throw away. Meat and chicken were rotten as the electricity was cut for the last 2 days. Do you have enough cooking gas? I asked, as I know that they might not have. We have some. Do you have enough mattresses? We have some. Do you have enough drinking water? We have some. Sounds of bombing do not stop. As the car is empty, I start moving. Abir is shouting, "What are you doing? Where are you going?" "Back home to Gaza to bring what we moved back into the house. We won't survive without it," I answered and moved ahead, ignoring her screams of objection. I knew that driving back to Gaza could be a suicidal attempt. The Israelis want us to move south, out of Gaza, not north, back to Gaza. In less than 12 minutes, I was at home. I believe I drove about 140 kilometers an hour, not out of courage, but out of fear. I filled the car with whatever I could fill it with: water bottles, mattresses, blankets, 2 cooking gas cylinders of 12 kilograms each. Even the biscuits I saw in front of me I took, I believe involuntarily, thinking about the children there. While writing, sounds of bombing and drones all the time. Now it is the second day at my father-in-law's home. Don't know what to do. Trying to call our daughter in Lebanon from time to time. No internet, no electricity, water is running out. It might be enough for the coming 3 days with very rationed use. Bombing continues.
Day 8. Sitting doing nothing with a head full of horrible scenarios. My brother-in-law, who also took refuge at our wife's family in Nusayrat with his wife and 2 daughters, is sitting on the ground, talking on the mobile, checking the safety of his brothers who took refuge at a school some 2 kilometers away from us. He asks, "وين صار آخر انفجار? Where was the last bombing you heard? هل في موت عن الانفجار? Are there any dead people from the bombing? أنت بعدك بالمكان? Are you away from that place now?" He puts down the mobile. Everyone starts asking him, "وين؟ شو صار؟ شو الحدث؟ كان في شهداء؟ إخوانك منح?" Where? What happened? Who is the target? How many dead? Are they okay, your brothers? هن منح. They are okay, Muhammad answers. The bombing was near them, targeting a house, leaving 30 persons dead. Women, men, children, babies. As they're all from Nusayrat, they start to question whom it could be, the house of whom was bombed. I just sat there, listening and watching. The drone in the sky is never silent. The noise is drilling inside my head. Sound of bombing, far away. Suddenly, Abir took me out of my silence, saying, "كنت عم تحلم امبارح. ما بتعرف شو صار?" You were dreaming last night. You don't know what happened? شو صار? What happened? عن جد ما بتعرف? You really don't know? عن شو عم تحكي? What are you talking about? حلمت شي بخوف امبارح. You had a nightmare last night. أنا? عن جد? Me? Really? Note, all the family sleeps on the first floor. Myself and my mother sleep on the second floor. إيه نعم، كنت عم بتصرخ ماما ماما يلا يا ماما. محمد ومرته ركضوا خمنوا إنه أمك صار لها شي. Yes, you did. You were screaming. Mother, mother. Oh my God, my mother. Muhammad and his wife ran up thinking that something had happened to your mother. بس انت نايم وامك كمان. جربوا فيقوكم بس ما قدروا. ضليتوا نايمين. You were asleep, and your mother too. They tried to wake you up, but they couldn't. You stayed asleep. ما عندي أي فكرة عن شو عم تحكي. I really don't know what you're talking about. Anyway, no shame. This is the least that could happen to anyone in our situation. Sound of bombing, not close, but not far. After this story, they all start chatting. Darkness falls. We light a candle.
Day 9, 9:52 p.m. On my mattress, alone in the darkness, using the light of my mobile, risking losing the battery, hoping to finish putting what I have in my head on paper. Yes, I'm now rewriting what I already wrote on paper, as yesterday I succeeded in charging part of the laptop battery at the nearby mosque, which has solar panels. Sitting on the mattress, trying to recall what happened during this strange day. Bombing from time to time, and the awful sound of the drone all the time above my head. At 10 in the morning, I went to Nusayrat market. Nusayrat camp is in the middle area of Gaza Strip, where I took refuge with my wife and my disabled 83-year-old mother after leaving my home in Gaza City, looking for unguaranteed safety at my wife's family home. The camp has one main street cutting through the middle of the Salah ad-Din Road to the Sea Road. The main market, located in the middle of this street, is about 200 meters in length. On both sides are stores, supermarkets, groceries, vegetable sellers, meat, chicken, home needs, clothes stores, second-hand items. Everything is in this market. Nusayrat camp has 35,000 inhabitants. Suddenly, within 2 days, it received more than 100,000 people who ran away from the north and Gaza City seeking refuge and safety. The majority took refuge in the 13 schools of the camp with nothing, absolutely nothing, but what they were able to bring with them. No means of life, no food, no water, no beds, blankets, mattresses, carpets, nothing. Hoping the UNRWA, the United Nations Relief and Works Agency, and international non-governmental organizations would supply them with basic needs. I know Nusayrat camp, it's always busy. It only consists of this street that is 200 meters long and 20 meters wide. Arriving at the market at 10:20 a.m., it's only 5 minutes' drive from the home of my father-in-law. What I saw? This is not the market I know. Thousands and thousands of people everywhere. Men, women, boys, girls, old people, mothers carrying their children, all ages, moving back and forth, left and right, going in and out of the stores on both sides of the street, trying to buy some bread or basic items. Looking at the people's faces, there's something wrong, not normal. The faces are very gloomy, men with their heads down. You feel immediately that they're broken, weak, defeated, unable to provide safety for their children, the first thing that fathers should be able to provide for their families. They've lost it. You walk between the people and you feel the fear, the panic, the despair. You feel the darkness they move through. It's daylight in the morning and it feels very dark. Darkness that's turned into something material, something you can touch by hand. Everybody's moving fast. You'd think they're in a hurry to buy food or essential needs, but with a close look you realize they go fast, wanting to hide their feelings of shame and fear. Shame that they're not entitled to feel, but they do. They want to hide their helplessness, their worries, their concerns, their anger and frustration. It is Judgment Day. They left their homes not knowing if ever they will return again. The stories of their fathers and grandfathers about the displacement and forced migration in 1948 and 1967 is flashing in their heads. Palestinians lost their homes, their lands, and many lost their lives in that genocide. They're so panicked that it is a new genocide. Is this our destiny as Palestinians? Every once in a while, we should go through a new genocide? Trying to focus. Why did I come to the market? Yes, I need to buy some bread and food. At the bakery, a line of more than 100 people. It will take hours to get some bread. I ask my brother-in-law to get in the queue, and I go to the supermarket to buy the other needs. Sound of nearby bombing, very loud. Every single person in the market frozen, including me, for a single moment. As if someone put us on freeze by a remote control and then took it off again. People continue doing what they were doing. No one stops to know where the bombing is, as every 5 minutes there's a bombing. Hundreds of bombings, every day, everywhere. Stories of houses destroyed on the top of their inhabitants. We are cut off from the world. No internet, no radios, no TV, no news. We are the news. But we don't know about ourselves. We only have mobiles that connect with difficulty after several attempts. No one can catch up with what is happening. While collecting what I need in the supermarket, the mobile rang. It is my wife, Abir. She shouts, "Come back now. Salma, our daughter, had a panic attack. She's weeping without control." Salma, our sole daughter, is in Lebanon. I drove back fast, took my brother-in-law without getting any bread. On the way home, we saw an ambulance and some people gathering near a destroyed home, adjacent to the cemetery which is located between our home and the market 300 meters from each. 2 covered bodies lay on the side of the road, and paramedics were carrying another body, bringing it beside the other 2. We arrived. "What happened?" I asked. Abir answered, "Salma heard on the news in Lebanon that a bombing took place at a home near the cemetery. She knows that our home is not far away. She panicked. She thought that we might have got hurt." I called Salma. After at least 13 times trying to call and the call collapsing, Salma finally answered, "My beloved daughter, we are safe. It was away from us." It took me 5 minutes to calm her down. Me and Abir are in Nuseirat. The cemetery was 300 meters away from her and 300 meters from me. Yet we did not know what had happened. My daughter, 270 kilometers away in Lebanon, got the news about us before we did. They keep us in the dark. Well, enough for tonight. My mobile battery is running out, and the pain in my back is not bearable anymore.
October 2023. I'm walking towards the market. Abir's cousin lives there and has internet access. Walking. No fuel anymore in my car, and of course no fuel at all in the gas stations, as quantities entering Gaza from Israel, like all the goods from Israel, are limited and never enough for more than just 1 week. It's part of the blockade and collective punishment against Gaza. walking and trying to find any vehicle to give us a ride. After 10 minutes walking, a big van stopped and took us with him. He was a gentleman. In the van, there was a woman sitting in the back seat. She was also being provided a ride by the van owner. About 100 metres from the market, near a shelter school in a narrow side street leading to the main road where the market is, a big explosion behind us. A huge black smoke cloud rises to the sky. The van trembles. Dust fills the car. The driver stops. Many people start to run out of the school. As we leave the car, another big explosion in front of us, much closer, same wave of smoke and fire, people screaming, shouting, crying, running. I don't know where to go, confused. Shall I go back? Shall I continue? Maybe the market would be safer, as thousands of people are in the same streets there. Safety? Immediately, another explosion to the west side and much closer to us. Rubble above us. Many people fall on the ground, some people injured by the flying rubble. I was beside the wall of the school. I could not breathe. Nazar, Abir's cousin, is selling tomato and onion in the market. Could not think. Ran like hell towards where he is located. Absolutely stupid move. Absolutely not rational. Who is rational in this mad war? Who is rational in this slaughterhouse? Yes, it is a slaughterhouse. The Israeli butchers are using every single minute to slaughter like sheep as many Palestinians as possible before the world wakes up. The bombing was on a side street off the main market street. Rubble, sand, mud, broken glass everywhere. The dust cloud was still in the sky, making the noontime light look like sunset. Yes, it is a sunset. No light in our life. Arriving at Nazar's spot, all his merchandise full of dust and sand, Nazar is well. He's okay. He has a small cut on his hand. Never mind. He's alive. I thought to call Abir so she won't worry for us. She was okay. She didn't think these bombings were near us. We hear bombings every minute. We have no access to news. We can't know what is happening or where the bombing is taking place. There is no way. That's why Abir's heard the bombing and continued whatever she was doing as usual. I decided not to tell her what happened and went back home, walking. Walking is not the same as driving. While driving, I see on both sides of the road destroyed houses, many destroyed houses, and every day newly destroyed houses. While walking is different. I see these houses much more closely. I see more details than I can see while driving. I see how buildings of 3 or 4 floors are crushed on top of each other, ceilings attached to the ceilings below, with people's furniture and belongings spread over the street. Some houses are cut in half. Could see half a bed, part of a kitchen, a bathroom with private clothes all around, books, school bags torn and full of dust. The majority of these houses were bombed full of residents. Many were bought out dead. Many still are dead under the rubble, as there are no machines to move it and reveal what's beneath. What a destiny, what a way to leave this unjust world. Finally, at home after 25 minutes walking, did not buy anything today from the market. We will manage with what we have at home for today. Ending this episode with some good news from my daughter Salma in Lebanon. where she's studying for her master's degree. The university granted her a full tuition scholarship.
Friends. I called a friend today. He moved from Gaza city to Rafah with his family. Rafah is the last place in the Gaza Strip before you get to the border with Egypt. How are you? I'm okay. The family? We're all okay. Where are you? At a school in Tel El Sultan in Rafah. Why in a school? I can find you an apartment. A friend of mine in Rafah offered to receive me and my family there. He'll gladly receive you. No. No thanks. I'm good here. What are you talking about? I know how people in the schools are. Don't worry, I'm fine here. Many friends have offered me apartments, but I'm staying here in the school. Okay, my friend. As you wish. Be safe. End of call. What a stubborn man. He refuses help. One day, his pride will kill him. Wait, why judge him? Thousands of homes were bombed without warning. Maybe he was afraid to go to a home that he doesn't know. Maybe he believed it's more safe in a shelter school. These schools were designated as shelters in an emergency by UNRWA and the United Nations Humanitarian Affairs Office in coordination with the Israelis years ago after the 2014 war. They should be protected. Yet in Khan Yunis 3 days ago, a bombing took place at the gate of one of those shelter schools and 5 people were killed, 22 people injured. 5 days ago, another shelter school in Maghazi camp was bombed and 3 were killed. Anyway, each person is trying to survive in the way they think is best for them. I called another friend, Majid, who has also moved from North Gaza to Khan Yunis to another shelter school. How are you? I'm good. How's the situation in the school? I'm no longer there. I came back to my home in Gaza. What? But it's very dangerous. Whatever. It's much better than staying in that school. 4,000 people in a very limited space. Women and children are squeezed inside 22 rooms. Men are on the ground in the front yard of the school. Queues waiting to use the very dirty bathroom. No water, no food, no electricity, no light at night, no privacy, lots of tension. People fight and argue over everything. I can't tolerate this life. Here I'm at home and I'm not going anywhere. If I survive, I survive. If I die, then let it be with some dignity. I could say nothing to him, but be well, my friend. Stay safe. Hope to see you soon. He was outraged when he was speaking, and I can understand. Another friend, Jabir, he went to Egypt 2 days before the war. He couldn't come back as the border with Egypt is now closed. His extended family moved from East Khan Yunis to take refuge at his home in Gaza on the second day of the war. A small apartment with 32 people, old mothers, women, young people, and little children. The third day there was a bombing of a home on the other side of the 20-meter wide street from his home while his family were inside. The whole front of the house was completely destroyed. Like a miracle, not one of his family was dead or injured. I'm unable to realize or imagine what he would feel or think. Can any of you?
October 2023, 5:07 p.m. After a terrifying and dreadful night of bombardment and explosions all around us, never knowing where or when they could hit us, I had to focus on my mother. My 83-year-old bedridden mother has a 12-centimeter tear inside her stomach. She takes Nexium granules twice a day before eating to protect her stomach from itself. It doesn't always work. Once every 2 to 3 months, she starts to have severe pain and vomiting, continuous, painful. When it happens, she stops eating anything. She stops drinking anything, even water, because anything that enters her stomach is immediately thrown out with pain. Sometimes it stops by itself in 2 to 3 days. Sometimes it gets worse when her esophagus herniates due to the vomiting and starts to bleed inside her stomach. Then she vomits dark brown liquid. This is internal bleeding. This is a red light to take her to the hospital. From experience, I know the process. They give her Nexium powder mixed with saline into her vein. She must go to the hospital. What hospital? Which one? One of those that have been completely destroyed? One of those which are receiving hundreds of injured all the time? Who is going to have time for an old lady with a stomach problem while there are hundreds in need of life-saving interventions? I decided to go to the market and UNRWA primary health care unit to look for the items I need in order to do the procedure here at home. Powdered Nexium, saline, cannula, syringe, alcohol, and dressing. Walking from home to the market, traces of last night's bombing on both sides of the street. Houses and buildings completely damaged, destroyed above the heads of residents. No prior warning. Absolute massacre. Passing by an olive orchard, poor olives. It is the cultivating season. No one will cultivate the olives this year. Olives will fall on the ground, dry and rotten. Olive trees will dry and all the branches will fall and be scattered by the autumn wind. Birds and doves will not find olive branches to build their nests for future generations. Bombing very nearby, behind the olive orchard. Felt the bombing. The sound is very loud. A wave of hot wind passes over my body, moves me from my place. I stop and get close to the fence of the orchard. After a few minutes, I hear screaming, people crying and shouting. I move fast, past the orchard and on the right side of a narrow street. At the end of the street, a house bombed, people pulling out bodies from under the rubble. A small car passes me by very fast. The driver is hooting the horn of the car. Passing by me, I saw for a single moment a woman in the back seat, holding an injured child, a girl, maybe 7 or 9 years old. It was very fast. Could not know what type of injury or the exact age of the girl. But I saw blood and dust all over her body. It is too much. I've had enough. I can't continue anymore. 55 years of violence, blood, death, agony, displacement, poverty, sadness, helplessness, despair. I can't take it anymore. I have no days left in me for such a situation, no more. I want to give up. I mean it. I am really ready to leave. In times like these days, in war times like these, in 2009, 2012, 2014, 2021, 2022, 2023, when my daughter Salma said she couldn't take it anymore, I told her to listen to the Peter Gabriel song. Don't give up, because you know you can. Peter Gabriel helped me a lot before. He doesn't help me now. Sorry, Peter, I can't handle it anymore. There is my mother, there is my daughter, there are my sisters and brothers who all believe I can, who all believe I should be there for them. I continue walking toward the market. Could not stop my tears. I wanted to shout, to scream, to curse. I wanted a hug. I really need a hug. Arriving at the UNRWA primary healthcare unit, where I'm volunteering with humanity and inclusion, I saw a doctor. I approached him explaining my mother's situation and needs. Sorry, there is no Nexium in the pharmacy, no cannulas. It's all been distributed to the shelters for caring for the injured who were prematurely discharged from hospital to free up places for the more recently injured. But I can get you the saline. Thanks, doctor. I took the saline and go out to look for what I need in the pharmacies, arriving at the heart of the market. Oh my God, what a terrible image. A huge building completely destroyed. At least 12 other buildings around, behind and in front are damaged. Very ugly, gloomy, frightening image. Since the start of the war in Gaza up to today, 42% of Gaza Strip housing units, 146,756 units destroyed or damaged. Is there any more clear proof of genocide? Walking from pharmacy to pharmacy, from street to street, from Nusayrat camp to Burej camp on the other side of Salah ad-Din Street. After more than 3 hours, walking and visiting 17 pharmacies and walking 13 kilometers, as shown by the step count app on my phone. Finally, I found everything I need for my mother. While I was walking back home, my mother suffered this ugly pain. My parents-in-law knew a neighbor who was a nurse. They called her and she did not hesitate to come. She did the necessary for my mother. It was 13:35 when she finished. Since then, my mother is asleep. I need to sleep.
Thank you so much for that. And now we're going to have another segment with the Hands Up Project with Nick. And I think I'm going to leave it to you to explain your project and the charity.
Do I need to use the microphone?
No. Does he need to use a microphone?
For the film, do I
Yeah.
need to use it?
Yes. Sorry. I can hold it, right?
I might ask you to hold it at one point. So tonight is a night to mourn, and thank you for all of those contributions, for giving us a way in which we can mourn everything, and a shape for that mourning. All of us in the Hands Up Project are mourning the children, the hundreds of children that we work with in Gaza. Some have been killed already, some we don't know where most of them are, and also the teachers who we work with in Gaza. But I would also like to celebrate tonight. I would like to celebrate the creative work of young people in Palestine. I would like to celebrate that against all odds, children in Palestine have created an art form which is theirs and which they have given to the world. And that is not an exaggeration at all. I'm going to show you some examples of that soon. But first I'll tell you a little bit about the Hands Up Project. So the Hands Up Project started from me going to the West Bank and working with a group of teachers and doing storytelling training with those teachers. And those teachers went back to Gaza and they asked me if I would tell stories to the kids. And I started to do that through Zoom at a time when no one knew what Zoom was. And I told stories from my kitchen to kids in a library in Gaza. And very quickly, the project changed in many ways. It stopped being about me telling stories, although I do still tell stories. And it became a lot about the children telling their stories and the children creating ways to perform their stories through Zoom. And I'm going to start, I don't know if I can I just click this and it will come onto my presentation, or I'm not sure if it's... No? Is the technical person here? Yeah, they're ready, but I'm just not sure whether I've checked that they work. But is he here anywhere? He is here. So I'm going to show you a play in a little while. Somebody's looking for him, are they? Yes. Yeah, great. Ah, here he is. Okay, fantastic. Okay, so the play that... Thank God for that. Oh. Right, so... I better get on to this quick before it while it's there. Okay, so remote theatre was created by young people in Palestine who wanted to find audiences for their plays that they were creating. And we've got lots of books of plays that are created by young people in Palestine. 2 years ago, we decided that we would run the competition internationally. So there had to be 2 or 3 kids in Palestine working with 2 or 3 kids in one other country of the world, and they had to create a play, rehearse it, and perform it through Zoom. So the play that you're going to watch now is a play called Welcome to Earth. It was originally written by 5 boys in Ashdod refugee camp near Nablus. But it's been recreated here as intercultural remote theatre by 3 girls in Gaza and 2 girls in the Czech Republic. The video that you're going to see has not been edited in any way whatsoever. It's a recording, but it was recorded live, and the rules of the competition state that you cannot edit in any way whatsoever the video. So all the things of turning on your camera, turning off your camera at the right time, using green screen backgrounds, using passing images through the screen, all of these techniques are part of the genre of remote theatre, and they were developed by young people and teachers in Gaza. Let's watch it. This is called Welcome to Earth.
But where? I think we should look for a good safe place, my friend. Let's go and look in the different places. When meets back here, everyone can tell us where they went.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, you're right.
on earth. Humans kill each other. They use bad weapons. These weapons kill the children. How could this happen on earth?
I've seen many poor people, homeless looking for food. No one looks at them. There is so much food on earth, but many people are still hungry.
Well, I was in a big city. There were many cars. They smelled very bad gas, which will be on earth.
I don't think humans on earth are so bad. I'm lucky. I've met nice people. Farmers who grow crops. Teachers teaching children at school. Doctors help save people. Wow. Well, but the weather on Earth is getting worse because of humans' activities. They cut down many trees. Earth is getting hotter and its ice is melting. This is so bad, so dangerous for our life on Earth. So, what should we do, my friend? Shall we stay or look in another planet?
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue and clouds of white, the bright blessed day, the dark sacred night, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people going by. I see friends shaking hands, saying how do you do. They're really saying, I love you.
Earth is beautiful. We will stay here and make it a better place.
Zemlja je lepa.
Atera is Helmuta.
Ziemia je krasna.
الأرض جميلة.
So, those girls. Yara, Malak, and Rahaf had never met Yuli and Magdalena from the Czech Republic. But as the prize for winning the competition, we managed to get them to Belfast, and they stayed with host families at St Louise's Comprehensive School in Belfast. And they turned their remote play into a face-to-face play involving the drama department, the art department, the dance department. The dance department actually choreographed the dance to fit in with their play. And as we all know, those of us who work in theatre or any performing arts things, this is what gives young people power, it gives them confidence, it builds their self-esteem. I just want to play to you, this is Rahaf after the performance in Belfast. If I just click on the video, will it play? Let's see.
most great day in my life because today I sent my message for the whole world. I'm Palestinian. I can achieve my dream. Nobody can stop me. Nobody I can achieve, and I will achieve my long-term achievements. Goodbye.
And I should just tell you, this is a very forward-thinking school. Very forward-thinking school in Belfast. They also, the kids, the refugee children in the school from Iraq, Sudan, Russia, Thailand, various countries, they also performed a play created by Palestinian kids for the audience. And the audience was a huge audience there of parents and many supportive people. Here's Malak.
I want to give a message for all people in Gaza. Just believe in yourself. Your God, your strength. You can do everything. You can fight everything. Just you can make impossible possible. Just believe in yourself. Everything is you're gonna make. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. You can make everything.
Do you feel that you are here for your people?
Yeah.
Representing your people?
Yeah.
Does that matter?
I'm here because my family support me, my friends, my teachers, everybody support me. I will thank everyone for doing that. Yeah, thank you all. Really, really.
I will just show Yara as well. Now, Yara is now 16 years old. She goes to a governmental school in Gaza now. And she, 2 days before this started, this current round of atrocities started, she sent a recording of herself and her classmates doing a rehearsal of King Lear. And she sent it to the British playwright Peter Oswald, who's working with their group and gives them support and feedback. And I've known Yara since she was 10. And she's acted in so many plays, and I've seen her grow up. I've seen her grow in confidence and self-esteem and power, and we've lost contact with Yara. I haven't heard from her for about 10 days now. Oh, it's gone from here. Why is that?
I'm here to play mourn because it's full of love, it's made with love, and it's made with face motion, movement, and it has we win the play because we want to achieve our dreams, not to win just and I'm famous now, no, because we really want to do this, and I feel like I'm really in a dream, or in reality, I don't know. So this is my dream. It's so hard to achieve, but the Palestinian kids never give up, and we will achieve our dreams. You all will show that we all are the same. We will shape our dreams, and you will show us on the TV.
So yeah, the next year, if it's okay, I know we're a little bit over time, but I just want to show you one more play, and it's a very short play, and that's the winner from this year's competition. One of the winners from this year's competition. It's performed by 2 boys in Dar el-Bala in Gaza, and by a girl in Serbia. And it's a play that's written by Amal Mujeres, who's, this is a book of plays written especially to be performed remotely. by some well-known people like David Crystal, Benjamin Zephaniah. But more importantly, it's written by Palestinian remote theatre specialists. And Amal Mohedes has been with us since the beginning of the Hands Up project. And she wrote this play, The Well, and I'll just show it to you. It's a masterpiece of what's possible with remote theatre. I was helping them remotely to support this play because I wasn't a judge in the competition, so I'm able to help them. And I mean, the number of times we practiced this play, they practiced it to get it ready to get to the final performance. The work that went into it from the teacher in Serbia and the teacher in Gaza and by those kids. And they just want to do it. They want to get it right. They said to me, no, we're not. We've got to do it again. It's not good enough.
على أرض غناديني على أرض تلاقيني أنا لأهلي أنا فديهم أنا دمي فلسطيني 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 أنا دمي فلسطيني على أرض تلاقيني أنا لأهلي أنا فديهم والله أنا دمي فلسطيني 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 أنا دمي فلسطيني.
Did you hear that? Did you hear that? What? Listen. What? I'm sure I heard something. Just listen. No matter. That's why I stopped watching some movies. I heard something.
Please help me.
There, the well. Hello. Anybody there?
Help me, please.
Who are you? How did you get there?
Long story. Just let me out. Please.
How? It's very deep. Don't worry. I'll call someone to get the road. How did you get there?
I woke up one day to find myself here.
How long have you been there?
A very long time.
I will throw down a bit of bread. Here, eat it. Wait, I have some biscuits. I will go and give you some more.
No, please, don't leave.
But you need to eat and drink water to survive.
Don't leave. Stay.
I'll come back.
They said to stay.
Who?
People who came before you.
Really? Did anyone came here before? Why didn't they get you out?
They had to leave. They could only give me food and drink.
I'd love to live in a place where I live by myself and get my favorite foods and drinks. That would be great.
Food does make me happy. I want to be free.
Many free people starved to death. They had enough freedom, but not enough food. Be grateful for what you have.
For me, food is not enough. I want to be free. Food feeds my body, but they don't feed my soul. Are you still there?
Yes, we are listening to you. Look, I'll give you some more food. We are going to head now, and we'll be back soon.
No, don't please stay.
Don't worry, we are coming back.
Don't leave. I'm tired of waiting for help. Let me out and I'll look for food myself. Please.
Oh, freedom. Oh, freedom. Oh, freedom over me. And before I be a slave, and go home to my Lord and be free. Oh, freedom.
And that was, I mean, that was made by having a cut-off bucket, bucket cut in half, a camera inside the bucket, which they just turned on at the right moment, and the girl in Serbia in the darkness, complete darkness, just looking up like that. It's a masterpiece, I think.
Yeah.
So the prize for this year's competition, we took the girls, we took 3 plays from Gaza to the West Bank, and they presented the plays at a conference in in Ramallah, and then they spoke after the event. I'm not sure I'm going to have time to show you. Have I got time or what?
No, we don't.
I'm free more performance.
Oh, okay, all right.
Sorry.
Well, I will just tell you this then. I'm not going to leave without telling you this. We have a book of poems here, which were all created by Palestinian children, and we've got lots of books here, and they're all available outside. They will be available outside. 2 of the children who wrote poems for this book are killed now. If I can read out one poem to you, it would take me 30 seconds, but I'm going to do it because it's important. This poem was written by Fatima Saidem. She was killed about a week ago with her whole family. Eyes are for looking and seeing sun. Tongues are for greeting and saying fun. Legs are for walking slowly and also run. Hands are for shaking with friends, not for shooting gun. It's Fatima Saidem, 9 years old. Thank you very much. Please come and have a look at the books afterwards. If you're involved in education, try and get these books into schools, get the videos into schools. There's a lack of Palestinian faces and voices and hearts and souls in our education system in this country, and we need to get it there. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Our next performance is by Words by the Blues.
Hi everyone, my name is Abdul, I go by the name Words by the Blues. It's an honor to be here. I'm going to perform to you a poem called Olive Trees and Rocky Hills. Amidst the olive trees and rocky hills, Palestine weathers storms, resilient stills. Despite the strife, they stand tall and firm. With each hardship faced, they dare not squirm. Children's laughter mingles with cries of woe. Through their innocence, strength continues to grow. In the face of adversity, they'll hold their ground. United in purpose, in unity they're bound. The IDF's might, a harsh, cruel game, yet the spirit of Palestine remains untamed. They yearn for a day when the dawn will break, when peace will prevail and love will overtake. In the heart of the struggle, they find their grace, a resilient people bound by an unbreakable embrace. For justice they fight, never backing down, with the hope that one day freedom will crown. Zionists may sow seeds of hate and divide, but love and compassion they will never hide. Through faith and devotion they will navigate, holding on to hope no matter their fate. In Jannah, one day they will find their release, a land of tranquility, a sanctuary of peace. Allah in His mercy will end their plight, guiding them through darkness towards eternal light. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Next we have Misha.
Palestine is in war, my country rots. Our hearts wail many woes. The sadness that sits with us and weeps, and the dejection that holds us captives. Our hearts burn, sore with sorrow. Hundreds of people are dying, what can we do? We sit and watch in horror as Isaac Herzog destroys and tears Palestine. This madman has no conscience, he cares not who he kills, but Palestinians shout defiance as his bombs rain down on our hills. He called this war a mission to take this sacred country away. We watch as children suffer and people face their fates. I don't understand human beings, the double standards in our dealings. I sympathize with the people of Palestine, but wish everyone had the same refrain. Despite thinking of all this, I try hard to sleep. Blaming it on coffee, I close my eyes. All I hear is bombs. I think once again of the people whose lives are being snatched away. I cannot sleep. Palestine is in war, and my country rots.
Hello everyone, it's my first time writing something. So I titled it A Letter to Palestine. O fathers of Palestine, we see and hear of your courageous acts, trying to protect your loved ones and keeping them at harm's distance. We see through your eyes and feel the pain through your words. O mothers of Palestine, if only I could hold your hands and kiss them, for you are the image of courage and strength in this world we live in today. You are my role models. O children of Palestine, we hear the echoes of your cries at night. We hear the echoes of your cries in the morning. We hear the echoes of your cries in the day. Oh, how I wish it was me and not you. I wish I could erase all this from your memory. I mourn the loss of your childhood, the innocence, the laughter. I wish this was just a dream that did not come true. Oh, Palestine, our hearts burn with a never-ending fire of rage, our minds screaming for answers. Where do we go? Who will listen to us? What else can I do? Oh, Palestine, how can we forget you? For you are etched into our DNA. Oh, Palestine, you will not be forgotten. Our voices will be heard. I will scream louder for you. Oh, Palestine, your voices will be heard. Victory will be ours. Oh, Palestine, history is repeating itself. Do people have a veil over their eyes? Do they need you to scream louder in agony? Do they even see you the way I see you? Oh, Palestine, I'm so sorry. Forgive us.
So this is the first time she's ever written a poem. And I want to really salute all of you poets. I think this evening has been wonderful and a real testimony to Aisha's imagination and outreach and bringing all these different people. And thank you so much for showing your films. And thank you all so much for doing your production again. And I'm sure you'll do it, unfortunately, many more times. But for all of the audience, thank you so much for coming. And thank you, MEMO, for doing this. And thank you, P21, for being our hosts. And I'm sure you've got memories from today, from this evening, which will help us all through this next terrible period, because we are together, and that's what's really important. So thank you so much again for coming. Yeah.